Hello, and welcome in, everybody. How are we doing tonight? It is another fantastic racing weekend here at Flat Out Racing North America. So, round 3, Blue Moon Infield, eh? We're back in the Americas, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a spicy little racetrack. Lap times are just over a minute around this racetrack, so we're going to see 40 action-packed laps around the racetrack here tonight. So as you can see in front of you on the left hand side of the screen there, provided by our media guru Yanni, is our drivers list. So we have Clarkson, Koke, Mr. Smurf, Venice Speed, Bear Chaos, Perea, Haley, who is not in this lineup any further. Actually, he has been promoted up to Pro Am1, so we do apologize there. We have Bart, I can't even say that, Dazzy, we have Dince, we have Chip Reese, we have Merch, we have Apex Heathen, Andres, and K Ricard. I do apologize about that. I can't see it very well on my screen in front of me. And of course, I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Major shout out to our sponsors here at GTR Simulators and Apex Racing, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, graphics provided throughout the broadcast by High Pre Graphics. So, to learn more about any of these sponsors, feel free to message any one of us here at GT45 Gaming or Flat Out Racing North America, as we are live on their YouTube channel as well, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in. We have something a little bit special here for you guys tonight, and that is a special guest. So we're going to bring him in just a second here. We're just going to get our lobby situation sorted out, and then we're going to get this thing going. So, in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, racing medium and racing soft tires required. Again, 40 laps around this racetrack tonight should relate to about a 48 to 50 minute race. Pit strategy will most certainly be at play here, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, you should be able to join. You're already in. You beat me to it. Alright, so we do have Lander Gaming with us, ladies and gentlemen, and he can't hear you guys yet until I flip over to the other screen because I don't have a audio source set up for that. So a little unpreparedness by GT45 Gaming's part, but as soon as we flip over to the next screen, you'll be able to hear our co-host here. So he's just getting himself settled into the drivers on track, and so far, what are you seeing there, my man? What's it looking like, so we can relay some info here to our viewers? We're going to take a look shortly here, guys, so just sit tight. Alright. Yeah, we do have a very large drivers pool here this season in Flat Out Racing North America, and it's going to be interesting to see. You know, these AM drivers have kind of set the precedence for the series, starting right in their season opener back at Watkins Glen 2 weeks ago, to a really great show put on by these guys last week. And it's going to be interesting to see what these guys got for us around Blue Moon Infield 8. It's an iconic Gran Turismo racetrack here. It should be quite interesting to see how all these drivers handle it. So let's flip over, guys. Let's give you guys a look here as we're with PD on track, and now you guys should be able to hear Nolander's son. Now, Nolander Gaming with us, ladies and gentlemen. So, hey, much love, brother. Welcome in. We do appreciate you being here with us tonight.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I am absolutely excited and ready to call some races with you, my guy.
Absolutely. We're just going to turn Nolander's volume up just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with. Nope, I need to turn your mic back on. Alright, so we can't get it. We lost him there for a second. Not sure what happened there, but he'll be back with us shortly here, ladies and gentlemen. As we're on board with PD, and these guys are just practicing here right now. They're just kind of getting their final laps, and qualifying is 6 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get through our field of drivers that are on track. We have Mr. Smurf. We've seen have a great start to the race last week, finishing not exactly maybe where he wanted to, but a really strong finish for Mr. Smurf last week. So showing some great pace very early on in the season. And it's a 10-week season, ladies and gentlemen, so it's super grueling. It's a super long season, and I mean, no need for any of these drivers to panic at this point. Again, RWPD here currently sitting second fastest on the racetrack and looking quite racy as he was last week, coming in for his first race last week, and in for race number 2 here this week is RWB's PD. We got Merch who looked like he had a little bit of an incident on the going by a driver who had an incident on the racetrack there, as that driver was just letting him go by. So merge on track here as well. We got Clarkson, as we've seen in that driver's list here, in 4th place. A tiny little bit of lag there coming from this driver, but we see that GT45 Gaming logo on the back of that car. Much love, my guy. We love to see those logos all over these racers' cars. It's not required here. This is just something they choose to do, so it's fantastic to see them. We have Perea here, who put on a really fantastic race last week with a podium finish himself. So let's see if we can repeat that this week here as we're with our AM guys. I'm not sure what happened to Nolander, but we will most certainly be back whenever he may have gotten a call or something, but our co-host will be back with us at some point here. We have Apex Heathen, who is currently our points leader coming into round 3. Correct, ladies and gentlemen, we have some standings for you folks here tonight as well. We'll get into that a little bit further into the race. But for the time being, I can definitely tell you that Apex Heathen is leading in the point standings, and I wouldn't say he's got a comfy gap, but there's a little bit of a gap there. So Apex Heathen really going to have to put some work here in tonight. 40 laps, so we're going to see different strategies. I mean, what do we think we're going to see here, ladies and gentlemen, as far as strategies? I think a one-stop is going to be a bold strategy here. Are we going to see them? Potentially. With the settings that these drivers are working on, if we're going to see that one stop be more feasible, it's going to be in the amateur division with these Mercedes cars with one less fuel and tire wear than the rest of the divisions up above them. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how that all breaks down. Talking to myself here, thinking out loud. I got too many things going through my head right now, chat. We got Chip Reese here in 6th place. We've got Ricard, who's just sitting in pit lane. Andre as well, just sitting in pit lane. We can't see any other view, and the guys are just kind of starting to settle in here now. So we had a lobby update this week, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what else can we say? But let's see how the lobbies handle themselves here tonight. Typically after a nice fresh update, it is a 50-50 on how our lobbies are going to work for the next week of league racing. So you know, fingers crossed that PD knocked this one out of the park, and we just have a beautiful race here tonight for all you amazing folks. Again, thank you in everybody, and welcome. So we are just at the tail end of practice session here. We got about 3 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes remaining, and we are going to be into qualifying. So we do have a co-host joined with us here tonight, just not sure where he's at. He did step away for a moment as his mic is muted there, so or maybe I muted him by accident. I did mute. That was all me.
I think you did, my friend. I think you did.
All right, so that was all me, Chad. Streamer problems. Streamer problems.
Hey, it happens to the best of us.
All right, so I mean, who's looking good out there right now?
Well, I've been taking a look around at the field, and you know, Apex is leading the way. Heathen, he's looking pretty dang old good, I'll tell you. And then we've got PD Snow's looking good. You know, I'll tell you, they're all looking rather smooth, and they're getting their racing on point and getting ready to give us a good show.
Well, it's very interesting. You know, we're going to give a notable mention to a driver here, ladies and gentlemen. We're on board with Chip Reese here. Let's get back on board with Chip Reese. Chip Reese, ladies and gentlemen, is a teacher in real life. We're not going to say where he teaches or the school he teaches for. Obviously, privacy matters to all our drivers. But he started an esports organization recently in his school for the youth, and did a little bit of fundraising. And of course, at Flat Out Racing North America here, we support our community, and here at GT45 Gaming as well. So he posted this fundraiser link into community discords, and within 24 hours, ladies and gentlemen, a $500 USD goal was met, and it was matched by Walt Disney as well. So Chip Reese has supplied a couple of full sim racing setups to the kids to start an esports organization in a school. So huge shout out to Chip Reese, ladies and gentlemen. You always sit here and hear us talk about how great the sim racing community is, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, absolute legend Chip Reese is tonight, and we're rooting for him tonight because I think good deeds never go undone. So maybe tonight's his night to find his way on the podium here. But massive shout out to Chip Reese. I think that's important to make sure that everybody's aware that people are out there doing good and looking out for the better of their communities. So legend, this guy, absolute legend.
Absolutely fantastic, good stuff right there. Well done to you, Reese. That's always a good thing when you get the young ones involved in something good and positive in this world.
Absolutely, and I mean, you sent me some pictures. You sent some pictures in the Discords, and the kids look like they're having a blast. So that's the important thing. So, you know, more might be to come with that in the future. But until then, just a notable mention. We do like to just let the people in the world know that there's hope in humanity still, and never think that all is lost, because there's always somebody around the corner willing to help. So it's just a matter of reaching out, ladies and gentlemen. We do races one, as it says on the top of the screen, and again, just another example of sim racing community coming together for a bolder purpose.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right,
Kids,
so
I have to say that's just wonderful to hear.
Absolutely, and he's. I've gotten to know the gentleman, a little bit here and there over the last few weeks. Fairly new member to the community here as well. So, just huge shout out. I mean, our teachers are unsung heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Really, and when you think about it, I mean, these people help shape and mold our youth for a better future, and give them all the skills that they need to get ready for college and higher education, to continue to help make our world a better place as they progress into adulthood and take over. So. Teachers are super important here in the world, and I think that they don't get enough credit.
Right, yeah, they have to deal with a lot as teachers, a lot of different personalities. Kids always learn different ways, as do racers, learn how to race in different ways, and it's just wonderful to see that they're doing what they help along with that.
We got K Ricard here looking pretty flashy with that Flying Fox Racing livery there. Looking real sharp on racetrack. First one out here in qualifying. Of course, this is an outlap, ladies and gentlemen, so don't blink. Very short racetrack here. 1 minute, just over 1 minute lap times expected here tonight. What can we see from these AM guys in this Mercedes? I do expect to see probably a 108 pace on the mediums. Maybe the really fast guys might lock into some 107s, and probably 107 pace on softs, and maybe the super quick guys might dip into the 106. But I guess it's up to the drivers to see if we're correct or not in that assessment.
Yeah, this can be a rough track. There's quite a few corners that really, if you come into them too hot or power out of them, they can get you every time.
Absolutely.
The hairpin on track is around these corners is a place to lose time or gain it for sure. Then of course you have the last corner on track, very, very important one, but it's really easy to lose one, giving it a little gas, and these drivers seem to be doing a really good job of managing to navigate this track tonight.
Absolutely, and I mean, short racetrack, but you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, it's an oval that's broken into an infield section, much like Daytona in a sense. The infield section is very short, but it's very mid-speed, precise. With this tough hairpin, we see Ricard coming through here right now, actually. It really is probably the hardest braking point in the track. We have this double apex corner here. I guess you consider a hard braking zone as well, but you're not coming in at speed. And then you got this tough left-hander, and then it's just a big, huge, long run. So Mercedes should see some top speed here as well, I would think, in this race tonight. We probably should see 160 plus miles an hour out of these cars potentially in slipstream, I would say. As we're on Ricard now, he's coming around on his first official lap with a 108 flat. So not quite in those 107s yet on that soft tire, but very close to what I suspect we're going to see here in the race today. Yes, we know.
Yeah, that's a very good lap time. Like you said, it's not the 107s, but as far as the race time goes, he's going to be right on point with that. Help save some tires a little bit of fuel being in that draft.
Absolutely.
Just a little higher gear helps.
Just let me know if that's better, Red Bull. It's going to be there a little bit, I think, no matter what. Just get a little bit of feedback from the chat there that they can hear a little bit of an echo, so we're just trying to dumb it down on my end here. So if I get a little quiet, I'm just pulling my mic a little bit away.
Again, streamer stuff.
It's just the way it goes, yeah. It will be fixed, dude. All right, so we do have Ricard in pole early on after the first lap here. Mr. Smurf sitting in second, only 2/100ths behind, so very close in time. And then 2/10ths behind there is Koke, who just jumped up actually into third place. Not very far behind. Again, 2/100ths behind him is Merch, who's his teammate slipstreaming, it looks like. So a little bit of teamwork in qualifying there. Interesting. Perea here in fifth place as well. There's a lot of the OBR guys here on the track for our amateur division here this season. Speed here as well in seventh. Chip Reese up into 8th place here, of course, showing lots of love to this guy. We're hoping that the racing gods are going to smile upon him here a little bit tonight and get him up in the front of the pack at some point here through the race. Clarkson here in 9th place with Andre in 10th. And, oh, where did Apex Heathen just jump you up to P7 there? So good lap from Heathen, and Andre's in 11th here.
We have an update so far. We've got PD Snow sitting at the top of the board with your 107.145, so that is a good lap around this track.
Absolutely, it is a very good lap here around this racetrack today, ladies and gentlemen, as PD, again, we showed some pace in the first race there last week at Alsace, so he has some time to actually dial this car in and practice a little bit and get a strategy in under the belt here. It's going to be interesting to see what this driver has tonight. I think he's got a shot at maybe taking a win here tonight if he can keep it all together, but racing conditions are much different than practice, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you have to deal with cars on the racetrack and situations and wiggles and incidents.
Indeed, my friend, anything can happen at any given moment on the racetrack. But as you said,
Record. Gotcha.
I definitely would not count PD Snow out of this race for sure. He's one of the gentlemen I have raced with. He's a good, clean, fast racer. As well as Heathen. Heathen, can't count him out either. I do believe that he's much like myself, and that his qualifying times aren't the greatest, but you get the guy on track and he's scooting.
So we did see Mr. Smurf there making a little bit of an incident coming around the sweeping oval right where the penalty marker is there too, out of that final left-hand corner. So doing a great job keeping himself off track there. But that's going to hurt his qualifying here a little bit, as he's probably got a little bit of damage on that race car. It was a pretty gnarly spin, as we've seen. Record. We'll get it right eventually, guys. I promise I would have all the names right by the end of the season. So Heathen here in 4th place, looking pretty solid here. He hasn't put in a 108.1, so he's just dived onto some soft tires here. So let's see what he's got on those softs. Koke here in 5th. And another very patient driver here is Koke, so it'll be interesting to see if he can find his way back on the podium after a nice finish at Watkins in round 1 as well. Coming in for a pit stop, going to take some fresh tires. We got Merch here in 6th. We've got Perea in 7th. We've got Chip in 8th. We've got Speed in 9th. Clarkson in 10th. And Andre still rounding out our field here and still sitting in 11th. So some of these drivers having an issue here. We've seen PD Snow now off the track there as well. So just staying out of the way of the guys on the hot lap. Great respect shown by all the drivers as usual. Nothing ever changes there, which is fantastic.
Indeed, my friend. So yeah, PD getting things dialed back in again, looking like going to push and try to increase that lap time again. We shall see. Smurf running not far behind him at all.
No, only 0.2 of a second, so definitely finding some pace here. And we have 0.3 between him and Record. Perea is, 2/100ths of a second behind our 3rd place driver. Catching a little bit of wall there, so that's going to slow him down on this lap. He's going to try and make that up in this infield sector here now. And let's try to find a driver who looks like he's railed in here. Let's go on board with PD here for a lap around Blue Moon real quick. Turn 1 here, hard braking by this line. You're just trying to kind of coast into the apex. As soon as you're good, you're on the throttle. PD on the throttle very early there. You actually see him catching up with some traffic here. He's going to grab some slipstream just past this 100-meter board. You can see him on the brakes. You want to catch a lot of inside curbing there. PD being very patient, not trying to interfere with these guys' laps. On the brakes early, sweep this corner, up a gear, and go. And you can see him really pull in on the back end of that driver there. And PD's just going to back out here and let those guys get ahead. So good on PD, sitting in pole position, not that worried about it. Going to come around this hairpin, second gear corner, late apex, early on the throttle is the ideal situation. We're not getting the best result here. Obviously, PD being very patient, not trying to interfere with these guys' lap times. So he's just laying off a little bit here, but then we're coming in here. We're at about the 70-meter board. You want to swoop over, and you can see him really just try to catch that grass a little bit, get that grass to help him swing the momentum of the car. I think he was trying something a little bit different there. I don't think that's typically his normal line. But I tell you what, that is what these World Tour drivers, and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we want a huge, just send a big congratulations and love from Flat Out Racing North America and GT45 Gaming as well. Huge congratulations out to Cirrus Cross and Rob Heck, who were in Monaco racing their butts off this weekend in the World Series Tour events, the Grand Finals, the big championship races. So much love to them, and I hope they're enjoying the experience. I know we miss them here at Flat Out Racing. We're going to miss them on track this week, ladies and gentlemen, but cannot wait to see what they got for us when they get back in round 4. So much love to a couple of the guys making the big stage, and it's just an absolute honor to be able to watch those guys compete at the highest level of Gran Turismo racing. You still with me, my man?
Yes, sir. And I would have to say that it's definitely a big learning experience to be on track with these racers in here now, and all those that race with Flat Out Racing. It's a good thing to have people that are experienced at that type of level and you're racing with them. Can't be nothing but beneficial to these racers.
Exactly, and I mean we do see a lot of the guys coming together in lobbies throughout the week and practicing, like all divisions practicing together, and it kind of makes the races interesting too, because you have all the different cars on track, guys on different strategies. Each car has a different advantage and disadvantage, and it actually makes for some really good practice racing, ladies and gentlemen. We really should live stream some of them, because boy oh boy, the guys just even off the live camera is just absolutely fantastic racing all the time, and I think that's what really contributes to the fact that the racing is so good and clean and tight here at Flat Out Racing North America, because these guys take the time to do these mock races with each other. So we are just going to be waiting here. There is a 2-minute window, ladies and gentlemen, to factor in here that allows the drivers to prepare their tire strategies, of course make any pit stops and stuff like that that they need to make before the race starts. So some great qualifying there from all our drivers, and I wonder if there's a view results thing. We still don't have that beautiful feature yet, which is really unfortunate. But so what we're going to do with the race start, since we have Nolander Gaming with us here tonight co-hosting, is we're going to have him watch the mid-pack of the field at race start. We're going to stick with the race leader, and that's just going to give us a chance to really cover everything that's happening going on through the first couple laps. And then of course we'll do what we do best here at as far as commentator goes, and just try to make sure you guys don't miss any of the action on the racetrack. Oh, and they are kicking it. Everybody's all ready to go, so we are getting a very early race start here tonight. And the drivers must be amped up and getting ready to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, round 3, Blue Moon Infield A is underway. We're just going to get into spectator mode here right now. And there we go. Beautiful lineup of drivers. Let's bring up some information for everybody. There we go. And we don't get our camera angles. All right, so PD getting not too bad of a start there, but it looks like Ricard is going to get into early pole position. So Ricard getting a great start, and we got another driver looking inside of PD there with Perea. So Perea taking a little bit advantage of an open line on the inside coming into turn 1 there, and PD is going to lose out 2, potentially 3 positions here. No, he gains 1 back, so now Ricard is in first place with PD in second and Perea now in third. Mr. Smurf now just in 4th. Oh, a little bit of incident there somewhere in the mid-pack. We do have some cars slowing, yes.
That was unfortunate too. The gentleman who started in 11th, straight up to 6th place at the beginning of this race. He was on the...
All right. Oh, we do have, it looks like some contact coming into the double apex left-hander here as well. We just missed what happened there between Perea up in the front runners there, but I'm not sure if he just lost the back end of that Mercedes or if he got tapped a little bit, but definitely dropping some positions all the way down to P7 here now, and he has Chip Reese chasing here in 8th place. So interesting start to this race. Blue Moon always provides very chaotic race starts, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's a very small racetrack to start with, and when you put these big bad GT3 cars on it, it's very tight racing going through the first infield sector, of course, here at Blue Moon Infield A. So things get a little bit spicy here on this racetrack. So these guys are going to start settling in very quickly into this race, because every tiny little mistake in these races, and you can see IMB Racewear in the back window of Ricard's car here, of course. Flying Fox, new partners with IMB Racewear, so much love to IMB Racewear there as well. PD here in second place is getting very close, taking a better line through the hairpin here, and Record gets a great exit there though, so credit to him there, as he took a different line than we expect to see coming into that hairpin, quite a bit wider. But PD has a nice tight sector right there, and I think he's going to be a little bit of a braking.
Chip moving up into 6th place.
All right.
He's gaining on 5th and 4th as well, pulling fastest lap. Obviously, just into the 2nd lap, but he is on the middle.
Fantastic stuff, ladies and gentlemen, and he is cruising. Fantastic. We love to see it. Great looking car here too. As we get a nice little pan around here, let's take a chance actually while we're still in this camera view, and then we're going to jump out of the lobby and come back in so we can get our TV camera crew working full tilt here as well. But it gives us a good chance to really take a look at the cars. Flying Fox Racing driver Record here currently leading this race. As you can see, some of the partners and sponsors on the team are cars looking pretty sharp, guys, gotta say. Moving down our line here, we do have RWB PD here putting some pressure on our race leader here, really taking a deep inside line there. Not sure if Record knew he was there, actually, giving him just not quite the space he needed to get around there. But PD looking very sharp here early on in the race, and I think Records has his handful here with RWB's PD currently.
Oh, 4th place, just Mr. Smurf, I believe it was, lost it coming around the final corner down there. At the end of the corner, before the final corner. Ethan has now moved up into 4th place, and he is gaining traction on Koki in 3rd.
Well, there we have it. Great call there by Nolander, and some damage here on Mr. Smurf's car as well. So I believe that damage is on light here in the amateur division and will go away after about 30 seconds time. But in that 30 seconds, he will most certainly pay the price, as Chip Reese is taking a look here, backs off coming into corner 1. Good patience shown by these drivers early on as well. Ooh, and you can see both those drivers floating quite wide there, but good exit speed.
Yeah, indeed, that damage did allow Chip to catch right up to him.
And Chip brings a...
So now we've got a little bit of a battle going between 5th, 6th, and 7th is catching up as well. We're
going to let Nolander take over the call here just for a second while we... There we go, get our TV cameras back. Fantastic.
There we are. We got Pariahs moving back up on 7th, 6th, and 5th as well. We got a pretty good battle coming along right shortly.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what else can we say here but just some more great racing by our amateur division here. Oh, and we're seeing Perea make a little bit of a mistake there getting into that grass. So that's going to slow him down, of course, and now that also means that he's going to have some dirty tires coming into this very important corner where you need a really good exit, catching a little bit of the wall there, but not nothing too bad there, look like. Not going to lose too much time. So Merchant 9th, Vent Speed in 10th, and Clarkson in P11. A little bit of lag coming from this driver here today.
We got PD Snow all over the back Ricard here.
Absolutely, and just been great battling between our 1st and 2nd place driver here, and this is good for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, 6th place right now, that mid-pack, because if these two continue to keep battling hard like this early on in the race, that's going to give these guys a chance to really close the leaders up here and very quickly turn this into a large battle for the podium positions again. And I mean, hey, us fans, that's what we want to see. Let's go. Let's get these guys grouped back up. Let's see a race here.
Absolutely.
But great exits both from Ricard and Snow here, PD, sorry, here. And I know him as PD Snow, ladies and gentlemen, so I do apologize about the confusion. But yeah, great battle here between 1st and 2nd place currently. Let's see who else we have in the field. Koke's looking solid in 3rd place, 1 second gap to 4th place driver Apex Racing's Heathen, sponsored driver here as well with the Apex sponsors, so the only one in the amateur division here. So the team is riding on his shoulders, I guess, so to speak, here for amateur division. But 2 podium finishes so far in the season has put him in the lead so far in the standings. So I can't hear Nolander. He needs to turn his mic up. I'll turn it up. It's not his mic, it's mine. It's all good. We'll get out of here.
Well, Mr. Chip Reese is gaining on Mr. Smurf again. He's
It is
looking
up.
pretty smooth. He's pulling his best time so far.
All right. You want to turn your mic volume up just a little bit, my man? Audience is saying they can't quite hear you, so. All right, Mr. Smurf in 5th place, so we'll just take over here while Nolander is just adjusting his mic volume a little bit. Thanks for the heads up, Trome. We do appreciate it. We haven't co-hosted a stream here in a while, so we definitely want to make sure everything is good to go.
Does that sound all right, Chad? Does that sound all right?
Ooh, I definitely hear you much better. Yes, I hear you much better.
Okay.
All right, so Chip again in 6th. We got Andre now up into 7th. So we've seen this driver struggling in qualifying, but now all the way up into the mid-pack here. So some drivers don't qualify well, but race very well, and some drivers maybe qualify better than they race. So it's always interesting to see how each driver responds to a qualifying / endurance race, because essentially, ladies and gentlemen, 45 minutes is endurance racing here on Gran Turismo. Merch in 8th place, Vent Speed still in 9th, very close behind this pack here as well, still coming into turn 1. Perea is falling a little off the pace here, so making a couple mistakes early on in this race, and Clarkson in tow. So battles all through the pack here, but I mean these two up front, Record and Petey, are just putting on a show here.
Yeah, we've got a nice little battle going on between 8th and 7th place as well right now. Merch and Andre, they are getting after it. Merch is making the move. He's got the move done. He's managed to make it stick.
And that
He's
is
on the move, back trying to catch up to Mr. Chip Reese now.
And that's going to bring Vent Speed back into this battle here as well now. So, oh yeah, good. Now we got a response from Andre here coming into the ideal line. And he's going to lose 2 spots there.
He gets that done. Oh, and Mr. Reese is off.
Yes, we do see Chip Reese having an incident there.
Track,
game resetting him, which is a little weird here. He must have spun out coming around this final corner, maybe.
Indeed he has.
That's all right. Lots of racing left, ladies and gentlemen. 7 laps out of 40. We still have 33 laps remaining. 32, I guess, once it comes around here. So plenty of racing here to have. Lots of time to make up on the racetrack still. Clarkson here in 11th. Now again, strategies. We didn't quite finish talking about strategies at the beginning of the race. The 2-stop is most likely what we're going to see from... Oh, and we got Petey! Petey making a big mistake here in 2nd place.
Just caught that glimpse of that too. Didn't lose a whole lot of time, and can't tell about damage yet as I just rejoined the lobby here.
He's got no damage. He did a great job of keeping the car safe, but he's definitely allowed Apex Heathen to really close the gap up. 2.7 seconds now, so he lost 3.5 seconds to our leader, Record, in 1st place. So, ooh, and of course, hard on the tires, spinning around like that. Sweaty Palms, Flying Fox Racing, keep out in front, Kells. Hey, Chip up 3 spots in 6 laps. Let's go get him. Absolutely. Apex Heathen here starting to charge now, though, in 3rd place. So he does have Koke, though, right there. So I'm not sure what happened there to Koke as Apex Heathen has gotten around. But Heathen looking to start to show some pace here. Mr. Smurf, fastest man on the racetrack with a 107.8. Good lap there by Mr. Smurf. And looking pretty solid. We're seeing some spacing.
Indeed, that is a very good lap.
Definitely some spacing from our drivers here today. The racetrack, you know, it doesn't look like it's very mighty, ladies and gentlemen, but let me assure you, this racetrack will punish you on every mistake you make here. So, and we're seeing that from some of the drivers here early on, just having little subtle mistakes, and bada bing, bada boom. There we go. We got drivers falling, dropping positions, but hey, again, lots of race left to catch up yet, ladies and gentlemen. We could see multiple pit stops here, maybe some 3-stop strategies as well. Not sure how feasible that is. The pit lane is somewhat long here. We're looking at about a 30-second stop. Oh, and a little bit of contact between teammates here. Vent Speed and Andre there as well, it seems. And Vent Speed, all Team OBR here, all clustered up. So really unfortunate. Again, number 1 rule in racing, ladies and gentlemen, is never make contact with your teammates. So a little bit of an oopsies there, but that puts the whole team together now. So if they can all tuck in line here, they could probably get some work done in a slipstream sense to catch up to the drivers up in front here. So let's see if these guys can get their heads down and get this nice little choo-choo train going with OBR drivers on the track here. A little bit of a mistake there. It happens, ladies and gentlemen, and race on. But that allows Clarkson to really start to close up on these guys here, and Chip just in behind here as well. So we did see Chip have that little bit of a mistake in the final corner there to put him to the back of the pack, but again, lots of racing left for that driver to catch up. But Record is the man everybody's chasing, and he is absolutely utilizing every millimeter of that final left-hand corner coming around here, and that is what's giving him his speed coming up this long straightaway. Yeah, very tough corner, that left-hander, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like Record absolutely has that corner locked in currently here on the racetrack. But Petey gaining time here, 1.8 seconds. It was 3.6 just a little bit ago, not even a lap ago. So not sure what happened to Record there. Not really anything. Petey is just a little bit quicker on the last couple times around here. So Apex's Heathen about on pace with that second place driver RW Petey in behind, but 4.4 seconds for our third place driver here, so a little bit off that front group, and he still has Koke, of course, chasing in behind here. So guys are cruising pretty nicely so far, but Mr. Smurf still fastest man on the racetrack. This is the guy that's chasing, and his consistency is looking pretty good there when you look at the side of the board. As you can see, Koke starting to just edge into his sight line as he comes around this hairpin here, so he's definitely reeling those guys in. Merch in 6th place. He's been having a pretty solid start to his race, moving up quite a few positions here, so in 6th place, looking very strong. Perea hasn't had the best race start, but got himself back up into 7th place here now and chasing as well. Vetaspeed in 8th. Clarkson here in 9th, so he's gotten around Andre. So Andre having a little bit of a struggle there, losing a position to Clarkson, and Clarkson now trying to reel in Venspeed. And then of course Chip here, getting it just a little bit wrong there, and that's all it takes here at Blue Moon Infield A, ladies and gentlemen, is just catch some of that track edge, and it is game over. Whew. Well, Chip Reese backing out there right in front of the leaders. Ooh, that was very close. Oh, and Chip Reese must just feel deflated right now, ladies and gentlemen, but that's all right.
RW Petey, he is coming up on Ricard right now.
Absolutely, and I mean, a little bit of a scare factor there for our two leaders, our the first and second place drivers coming around the corner and not expecting to see a car coming on back into the track there. So,
and there it is. Petey takes the lead.
Mistake made by Record in the double apex left-hander. It is basically a 180-degree corner, and if you don't quite get it right, you could lose the back end of your car, and that's definitely what we saw there in Record. So Petey, our second race leader of the race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on Blue Moon A, lap 12 of 40. A long way to go here. This isn't the oval, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like the oval, but it is actually the infield sector, and that's why we're seeing the driver struggle so much.
And all the while we've got Apex's Heathen. He is creeping on these boys in P1 and P2. Can't count this man out at all. He looks like he is on the move.
Absolutely, and he does have a couple of guys in tow with him here as well. So with Koke and Mr. Smurf, but Mr. Smurf going to get the job done there. No, that is Chip Reese up in between these guys here. My mistake, ladies and gentlemen. So Mr. Smurf still chasing Koke, now coming up on Chip Reese. So here we go. Interesting situation developing very early on in the racetrack here is Chip Reese, of course, battling to get back into this race here, and he's just got stuck in the mid-pack of this race. So tough position for all the drivers here. And we see Koke gaining through there. Mr. Smurf still looking for his opportunity there. Looks inside. Is he going to be able to get through here? And it does appear that he is going to get through, as Chip Reese is going to just give up the position there. Let's keep going through our field here. Not too much happening yet, but the driver's starting to close up. So Chip just needs to tap into these guys a slipstream here now and basically let these guys pull him back up to the next guy in front of him. Ideally, that's the best case scenario currently here for Chip on track, and then hopefully he can make up some track position when some of these guys start to pit in. Apex's Heathen 5.6 seconds behind Record, losing a little bit of time lap by lap here as that group is starting to pull away up front. Koke is 3.5 seconds behind our third place driver Heathen, with a little bit of a gap on Mr. Smurf, just over a second. So slipstream will play a factor into this race, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be within about 8 to 9 tenths of a second of these drivers coming into these longer straightaways where your speed starts to factor into these cars. And if you can do that, then you're just going to watch your car just pull right up to the back end of the driver in front of you and hopefully set you up for a good quality move coming into your next favorite passing opportunity. We got Merch here in 6th place, and this track does provide pretty good side-by-side racing. There's a couple of corners. Ooh, and Perea making another mistake. Perea is just not having a great day with this grass here today, and that's going to allow teammate Venspeed to really close it down on him here. And you can see him trying to shake the dirt off his tires there as he's coming around the next corner. So Hopefully he's got this dirt off his tires coming into this hairpin, or it could be a rough hairpin for him here. It does look like he's got it all right and tight, so great job by Perea to get himself back together here as he has teammate Venspeed very close behind here now in 8th. So battle of the OBR drivers here currently on the racetrack as well. Clarkson in 9th place, and right now he's just kind of chilling. He's just running his laps. He's a little bit off the pace of the guys in front, but still very consistent. Andre here in 10th place as well, and 5 seconds behind Clarkson. And Chip Reese, we see just struggling a little bit here, but this driver's just going to lock back in, and he's going to be good to go. So just not having the best of race days, but we have drop rounds, so it's okay. 2 drop rounds for these drivers.
Those are handy.
So I mean, you know, that's to allow for you know, family holidays or real life situations, ladies and gentlemen, or our driver just not having the greatest day on the racetrack. It happens to the best of us at the best of days sometimes. And so yeah, the drivers never need to worry and panic. You know, you got these 2 drop rounds. You just focus on the next race at hand and continue doing this one. You never know what's going to happen in racing. If one driver's struggling, who's not to say another driver's not going to make that same mistake, and you get that position back, right? So lots of racing left here. We got PD in the lead still, and fastest lap on track still 107.8 by Mr. Smurf. So holding down that fastest lap currently on the racetrack there. That was a quick lap by Mr. Smurf. Koke in 4th, and just a little bit of space between these drivers here right now. The closest kind of battle on track really is between teammates Perea and Venspeed here, and again, they're really not trying to battle his teammates here. They're more just trying to work together. So a little bit interesting. See if these guys can close up on, who is it, Merch ahead of him, 16.3 seconds. So we'll keep monitoring that gap. Andre 14 seconds behind his teammates there, and Chip Reese is just a little bit behind these guys. Chip Reese is in a tough spot. He's still trying to get caught back up in the pack, but looks like we lost a driver as well, as we're down to 11 here. So who'd we down to 10? It looks like we lost Clarkson, and that was the one driver we did see lagging a little bit on the screen actually. So disconnection for S. Clarkson, it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to be a full mechanical failure for that driver, and the car is behind pit wall. So super unfortunate there for S. Clarkson tonight. And just as we finished talking about drop rounds, a driver disconnection from our lobby. So ooh, my bad, commentator's curse perhaps. Maybe we'll let Nolander take the call for a minute.
Well, Koke is still trying to catch up Heathen. Heathen seems to be able to hold him off and keep him right about where he's at. We got Rhett here who keeps gaining and then losing on RWB's PD. They keep going back and forth on their times. We got Mr. Smurf is just 2.2 seconds down behind Koke now. And Birch back here leading the way for the back of the pack. He is just now 12.8, and he keeps going up and down as well, seconds back here. But they're looking as though they're really starting to get these cars dialed in, really starting to put on a show for us. And as we know, these endurance races, just because these gentlemen are back here now, it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way.
Absolutely, my man. Absolutely. Great calls there. And RWPD still leading the race here, and we're not going to bring any information up for you guys yet. It's coming soon, but looking very strong here so far early on in the race. I guess the bigger question is, I mean, how many stops are these drivers going to make at this point? I don't think that the one-stop strategy based off the timing splits I'm looking at here are going to be overly feasible unless really the top 5 drivers stick to that same strategy. I think a 2-stop strategy will prevail on those guys. Just judging by the time difference we have here now, we do see a couple of different tire compounds on the racetrack for the most part. Most of the drivers are on the same one. Which one that is, of course, I'm not going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let you guys try and figure that out for yourselves. But no, they are all on the same tire compound. I think Clarkson was the only one that was on a different tire compound at the start of the race then. So the drivers are all on the same tire compound as well here. So I guess it's going to be interesting to see here. And tire wear is definitely going to factor into this race. You're going to see the right side tires of these Mercedes really take a beating here at Blue Moon. And fuel shouldn't be too bad in these cars. I would think that these guys are probably going to be able to get anywhere between 28 to 30, 31 laps of fuel in the car. They can't go the whole distance, and obviously they have to stop and get another set of tires either way, so they wouldn't be able to no-stop the race, even if they wanted to, unless they had a huge lead and the penalty wouldn't negate it. But chances of that are pretty small since these divisions are so tight together. But yeah, PD 1.4 seconds from record. Record 7 seconds up from third place drivers Heathen from Apex Racing. He's 1.4 seconds ahead from OBR's Koke, who again looking very solid here tonight. Mr. Smurf again having a fantastic race here, and you know, this driver is one of those drivers I like to call the silent sleeper here in the series. I feel like he's going to hit that one race, he's going to hit that one moment, he's going to find that beautiful podium, and it's going to be watch out. This driver's going to be chasing that podium down every week after. That's what I get from this guy when I watch this guy race. So it's quite interesting. We got Merch here in 6th place, 14 seconds behind Mr. Smurf, so that's the gap. That's kind of the line there. I think 6th place Merch is kind of that break from the front pack to the half pack that these guys need to pit stop and not lose position to the rest of the drivers if they're all on the same strategy.
Yeah, we've got positions 5, 4, and the 3 all starting to really come together now. Mr. Smurf gaining on Koke and Apex's Heathen, really starting to bunch up a bit, and it looks as though we're going to have a brilliant race going on here really soon. Now, will they just maintain and kind of use each other's slipstream to catch P1 and P2? We don't know. We'll just have to see.
We don't. And, you know, I'm thinking we're definitely going to see some varying strategies here based off what I'm seeing as I look through the field here as well. For the most part, a lot of the drivers seem to have the same fuel, but there are a couple of drivers on the racetrack that seem to have a little bit of advantage when it comes to the fuel tanks left still. So interesting strategies already coming into play here. We got Go Heathen in the chat. Hey, Nolander from Nuclear Clutch. Going Al Clarkson. We love to hear it.
Howdy.
Got all the fans up in the house here tonight. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Facebook is just not lighting up tonight at all. Not liking the new dashboard here on Facebook, gotta tell you. Still a tad low, says Adam. Alright, appreciate you, my guy. Not sure why my Facebook chat's not updating. Alright. So, Petey is not able to shake record here. I mean, these two have been pretty much stuck to each other like glue, and now we got a battle developing here, so...
It's been down from 1 second to 3 seconds, and Petey doing a really good job of maintaining that. He seems to be just a bit quicker on the latter half of the track, and then Record being a little quicker on the first portion or first half of the track. Oh, we got Smurf getting it a little bit wrong back here. He is back on track and on the move, though. So not losing a whole lot of time, still just 1.9, now 2 seconds behind Koke, who has taken P3. Not sure what's happened to Heathen, because he's dropped down into P5 now. Does not have any damage, so, oh, you know, I know what it was. We missed our first pit here. Mr. Heathen has taken his first pit.
So interesting strategy there from Heathen. I really kind of expected he'd be one of the drivers that might potentially try the one stop with the amount of fuel he had left in that car. I guess not.
We also have Pariah here, and P8 has taken his pit stop as well. So pit stops already coming into play in this race. 2 of our racers have pit already, so that we'll see how that plays out a little bit later, trying to get the undercut on him.
We're starting to see some of the drivers close back up again here as well, with these series of pit stops starting to be made as well, which is fantastic. We always love to see lots of action on the racetrack. Been a little bit quiet in that sense so far tonight, but 40 laps is a long time around a racetrack, so I suspect we're going to start seeing things kicking off with about 10 laps remaining here. So pit strategies are going to definitely group these guys back up, I think. Let's go Heathen, my Ohio brother.
We've got Record now taking his pit, and Mr. Smurf as well taking his pit stop. That will put them in 3rd and 4th. So we now got Petey Snow leading this race by 13.2 seconds. Koke being in P2.
All right, so record going for an undercut type of situation here on the two drivers who are opting to stay out for another lap as long as Mr. Smurf. So it's going to be interesting to see how the overcut slash undercut strategy works. We got Apex Ethan essentially going for the super undercut here, going in even a lap earlier than those drivers did. So they are going to have a one lap
and
fresher
he's
tire.
taking over P3.
So Mr. Smurf did set that lap, ladies and gentlemen, on the medium tire. The fastest lap on the racetrack currently. So let's see what these guys can get down to on these soft tires here now. We did see a 107.1 in qualifying from our pole sitter, so we should see some pretty quick times here.
Yeah, and 107.8 on a medium tire is cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. Very tough lap to get, even for myself. In a higher division on it, it was a little bit of a faster car. I'm having a hard time even getting those, so absolutely blazing fast.
Yeah, we've got
lap.
PD and Koke, P1 and P2 have now stopped to take their pits, and they had no choice.
So Heathen coming around here
their
now.
Their cars were thirsty.
From P3.
Yeah, he's going to take the lead, it looks like.
Should probably take the lead from refueling again. So about a 30.
It's going to be really close. These guys are going to come out really tight.
Pit stop here, so it's not a short pit stop here, Blue Moon. And you can see one driver coming out right now. It's going to be very close as PD comes out on the inside there just as Heathen's coming around.
Heathen managed to make it. Yes, sir. That was beautiful.
And Heathen's going to slot just out in front of RWB PD. So RWB is going to be on the fresher tire, but he is coming out with a cold tire here as well. So going to be interesting to see how these two drivers navigate this. We got Record coming out here in third place, and him and PD seem to be on a very similar strategy. Heathen seems to be again on a, I don't know, we're going to have to start calling this the Heathen strategy here. He's always a little bit more out of the box than the rest of the drivers, but I mean, last week he got him back up into podium position, so I mean, we can't argue that they don't work, I suppose. Mr. Smurf.
We got a decent battle brewing here between P5 and P6 as well, and Koke and Mr. Smurf. Smurf looks like he's about ready to try and pounce. Really riding him pretty good through the hairpin and the double apexes just before final corner here. We'll see if he can get this run on him out of final corner. If he can get a decent run, he'll have this pass made down this long, sweeping left and straight.
It did seem like he got a pretty good run through there, but also Koke up in front got hooked up pretty well there too. So
he did.
Yeah.
He had a beautiful exit there.
So we're just on board with Mr. Smurf here. As you can see, Ventspy going into pit lane, going to lose position here to these two drivers, but showing a little bit of patience is Mr. Smurf here in fifth place currently. Going to look on the outside here. If he can hammer it here right now, he's going to have the optimal line around this corner. That might give him an opportunity to get the job done, but tough corner to be on the outside. You can see him just checking up a little bit early, and I'm not sure. Koke really taking that corner shallow there. And that cost him a position there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Koke going super highly defensive there, and that actually compromised his corner there, and actually costing both these drivers a little bit of extra time on the track there too as well, because Mr. Smurf had to be a little extra more patient and cautious getting around that driver there, because he wasn't really sure what he was up to, I don't think. So both these drivers got a little bit of work to do to start catching Record up there. He's 12.6 seconds up the road, ladies and gentlemen. So good calls there by Nolander. Good catch.
Yeah, Apex Heathen has now opened up a 2.7 second gap over RWB PD. Heathen is really looking strong right now, but the surprising thing to me is thus far, since we've had the tire swap, these gentlemen have not been able to knock off Mr. Smurf's fastest lap.
I agree. Good call there. I've been watching that as well, and so far that 107.8 still holding strong, and we've lost another racer, ladies and gentlemen. Merch having full failure in his car here as well, and another car in back behind pit wall here today. So we have lost two of these beautiful Mercedes AMG GT3 road cars here early on in this race, and that is super unfortunate for those drivers, as that is going to be the end of their race here today, ladies and gentlemen. But we still have 9 drivers on track fighting for points and position here, so we are going to stick absolutely with those 9 drivers, and absolutely feeling for Clarkson and Merch here today, just not able to keep that car on the track here today. Super unfortunate.
We got a battle brewing here between P9 and P7.
Let's get to that.
It's a good battle. Mr. Reese trying to gain this lap back here. Oh,
Ooh, and
contact a little bit, and they're both back on track.
all right, tough one there,
That's
ladies
all
and
right.
gentlemen. Both
Let's go,
drivers coming in
gentlemen.
cooking there, and just both cars losing a little bit of traction coming into the corner there, and just nowhere for those drivers to go but sliding up the racetrack. But hey, back on track and moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's all about. Apex Ethan, our leader,
Indeed.
still there, but RWBP is right there, 9/10 of a second behind. He's just, oh, and Heathen getting into the wall. Oh my, getting a little
Oh,
bit of that track
man.
edge, and that is P1 for RWBPD, and Apex Heathen now dropping down into second place. That is totally not my fault, Heathen. You can't blame that on me. I wasn't on board. A record here in third place.
No commentator's curse at this time.
Oh my goodness, he is gonna hate me by the end of this season. Record here in
We
third
have Wreck.
place.
He's catching Heathen now quick.
Absolutely.
He's just dropped from a 2.5 down to a 2.0. He's
And
gained a
still
half
gaining.
a second on him now, and he's still coming. So that's going to really put these guys right back into a big old battle here between P1 and P2. And I'd imagine Heathen, after gathering his wits, will gather in PD as well. But it's going to take some time now.
3.5 seconds behind our new race leader, Petey here, and Petey with now fastest lap on the racetrack as well, ladies and gentlemen, with a 107.605. So it's Mr. Smurf's lap not lasting forever there, but it took these guys quite a while to break that fastest lap on the medium tires. So huge shout out to Mr. Smurf and that blazing quick lap on the mediums there. Fourth place driver
good
here.
lap.
10 seconds behind these guys, and if these guys continue to make little slip-ups like this up front, it's going to give him a shot at a podium finish here. And what did I just say, ladies and gentlemen? If this guy finds one, he's going to be chasing a lot more. Look out. Koke in fifth place with teammate Perea right in tow now. So these two drivers are, I'm sure, very familiar with racing with each other, as of course they're teammates, so they probably spend a lot of time practicing and are quite familiar with running around each other. So if these two can hook up and work together here, they can absolutely turn that 10-second gap from fourth place's Mr. Smurf into a battle potentially before even this race is close to over yet. Slipstream does matter on this racetrack, especially on these more high-speed sectors, and if you can use it to your advantage, a little bit of bump drafting here, you can definitely make up time on the guys in front of you. Got Andre here in 8th with Chip in 9th place here. So even though Chip hasn't had the best of days today, he's had a couple of tough spins, he's had a rough race start here in the race, a little bit of contact with another driver there we just seen a few minutes ago. He's still going to get 9th place points here, ladies and gentlemen. So that's top 10 points for this driver, and that's just because his mechanics have kept that car in good running order and on the racetrack. So like I said earlier in the broadcast, you can never ever just give up, because racing is racing, ladies and gentlemen. You never know what's going to happen.
So Heathen really putting the moves. Now I don't know if Pete Snow had himself a little bit of a wall touch or something, but Heathen gaining 0.3 of a second on him real fast. Now moving into 0.4 and almost 5. He's gained a half a second here, folks, really quickly.
So 108.8 was Petey's lap last time around, and Apex's Heathen's lap was a 107.782, so he was only a 10th of a second off that fastest lap, actually. So he gained about 1.1 seconds on the leader there just in that lap alone.
Yeah, he's really looking nice and smooth again. Looked like he's gathered his composure and is just getting after it, and that's just it. That's what you do. You have a little bit of a bobble, and you just put your head down and stick it to itiveness.
I don't know. I think we need to make a call over to the Apex Racing boys. I think we need to make a call over to their livery design there and get them to put a special sticker on that car that says Spin King. It seems like Heathen needs to spin in one of these races, and then he just locks it in. So let's see what he's got the rest of this race. Now, I suspect he's going to be locked in now.
Right. You get it out of the way. I generally have to do that, right? First thing in the race, and then I'll kind of work my way back in. It's unfortunate what happens, but you put your head down and just keep on moving.
I'm quite familiar with that tactic myself as a racer, unfortunately. Just qualifying last so you can get your spin out of the way and then do what you do. Drive mad and catch back up.
And then you're all good after that.
So
Facts, my guy, facts.
we see Apex Heathen getting around Chip Reese there as well. So, but again, it's ninth place points for Chip Reese here. So all he's got to do is just keep that car going around the racetrack 40 times, and he's going to get some pretty good points here. So, again, not the best of race, but necessarily not going to be a drop round here. Still room to have complications down into the season for that driver. So, always positives with a tough day, and to me, that's a pretty big positive.
Heathen definitely reeling in RWB's Petey. He's got that time down to a 1.3 now, and it looks as though Petey got a little bit better exit out of that. No, he is catching him. Heathen is gaining on that time. So I thought Petey had a little bit better of an exit on that final corner, but no, Heathen is reeling him right in down to a 1.1 second gap between P1 and P2.
Absolutely,
Kel's following 6.2 seconds behind them, so he is nowhere near out of this either, although we are down to just 8 laps remaining. So really it's only 7, isn't it? Because they got half of this lap remaining and then 7 more to go.
It'd be about 7.25 laps remaining here, so yes, that's correct. But yeah, Petey definitely under pressure here from Apex Heathen. His out-of-the-box strategy here might actually come and bite Heathen here, I think, in this race. He's going to have to pit. I mean, that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just looking at that myself.
That's going to take him out of this battle here for first place, and potentially Petey on a one-stop strategy here, maybe?
I believe Petey has only pit one time.
I mean, Petey does have the fuel, and he does have the tire to potentially make it.
He's good to go.
And I
he
think
looks like he's going to go for the rest of the race. However, as you say, Heathen definitely going to have to make another pit stop, which is going to allow Rec to jump back up into, at least for now, the time being, P2.
Absolutely, and that's going to be, again, another driver potentially on a one-stop strategy here today, ladies and gentlemen. Judging by what I'm seeing, him and RWB Petey looking pretty similar on the strategies.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to tell you there for now, ladies and gentlemen. But Mr. Smurf here out as well in P4. He may even benefit from this pit stop that Heathen has to make and find his way on the podium.
That's going to put him into P3 as well, yes.
I believe so. So let's stick with Heathen. This driver will have to pit. I mean, this is it. He can't go around another lap. I mean, he is probably stressing out right now in that race car, looking at how empty that fuel tank is. He's still got this high-speed corner to get around before he can get into pit lane here.
Indeed.
So, and that's it. I mean, he's out of fuel. He's on fumes. I can't believe this car has not stopped yet, ladies and gentlemen. And we're not even making this up. He is going to be coasting into pit lane here by the time he gets to the line.
Coasting in.
And he is out of fuel. That's it. It's flashing. I mean, he ran out right at pit line.
That definitely puts Kel into our Ricard up into P2.
Record.
And Mr. Smooth.
It's a nerd.
Our record,
I know they keep correcting me.
There we go.
I'm getting it wrong all season, so we'll get you on the early train here.
Right, very good, very good. Appreciate it. Yeah, Mr. Smooth definitely moving up into P3, looking really sharp after his early racing incident. He has really pulled it together and put in a fantastic bit of racing here.
So Koke going to jump into 4th place. Heathen looking like he's going to stay ahead of N-Speed. So 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th place, quite a bit behind the rest of the pack here. But this is going to put Heathen 25 seconds away from 4th place with only 6 laps remaining. I don't know if this is the right call for this driver here tonight, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Well, fortunately for Heathen, he does have a fresh set of tires. He did take tires on that pit. So perhaps that a good racing strategy there, just to take a little bit of extra time to get a new fresh set of tires. So yeah, as you said, 2-stop strategy versus the 1-stop strategy, and we're seeing how it plays out now with just 6 laps remaining in this race.
And I mean, 7-second gap now between RWB Petey and Record. And I mean, ultimately, Record was probably hoping that Ethan was going to reel in Speedy a little bit, and those two would start battling, so he could, start to climb up real easily up on those two drivers. But now with, of course, the surprise pit stop there, I'm sure, up in front of him with Apex's Heathen, that's going to change the way he's thinking about how he's going to continue to challenge now, with only just a few laps remaining in the race. Mr. Smurf up to the P3, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen, sitting in that podium spot. Can he hold it? Koke chasing in 4th place, and Apex's Heathen 25 seconds down the road from 4th place. And I don't think any one of these drivers is going to have to make another pit stop, ladies and gentlemen. I think they all have the fuel to make it.
No, and the way it's looking too, I don't think anybody's going to catch RWB Snow. There is a lot of racing left, but he has gapped these guys 9.2 seconds now, and that was just growing. However, it is dropping just a little bit now. Record having himself a great exit out of that final corner. He's drawn almost a second off that time.
And Koke now our fastest man on the racetrack here today, ladies and gentlemen, here in P4 with a 107.379. I did say we might see one of these guys dip into the 106s on the soft tires here. Boy, they have not disappointed. They're not quite there, but that is very close, ladies and gentlemen. That is one beautiful corner, and that is time made up, and we're in the 106s here. So great job by Koke there. He then has his work cut out for him. He's currently chasing the fastest man on the racetrack right now. And his pace is not dictating that he's going to make up that time currently, so he really does need to get into it here. Event Speed in 6th place with Perea in 7th. We got Andre here in 8th, and Chip Reese, our remaining driver, in 9th. Of course, we did lose Clarkson and... Can't remember the other driver now all of a sudden, but we have lost Merch. That's correct, the Canadian driver Merch, from mechanical failure in the cars, and of course MCAR's back in behind pit wall now, retired from the race here for today's event. So mechanics will be working hard on that, obviously in the off week, and they'll get that car back up and running for round 4. And I'm not even sure where round 4 is actually, ladies and gentlemen. So I guess I better do my homework here.
With just 3 laps to go as well. RWB PD opening up an 11.5 second gap now on P2 and Record. Murph looking like he is going to try to take a position and get P2. He is all over the back of Record right now, looking really racy and tight. He has got this Mercedes moving around this track ever so smoothly and making it look good.
Absolutely. And nice little battle brewing here at the end of the race for 2nd and 3rd place. That's fantastic stuff. The question is, can Koke reel in 3.7 seconds here to really close that up and make that a 3-way battle? Apex's Heathen, I mean, best he can settle for here at this point is 5th place, I think, here today, which is super unfortunate for him. Not quite the right strategy here today, apparently, is that 2-stop. Event Speed here in 6th, Perea in 7th, OBR Andre in 8th, and Chip in 9th. Still hanging in there is Chip Reese, so he's loved. Much respect to Mr. Reese there as well. So where are we next week is the big question. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, ladies and gentlemen, so let us go take a peek as soon as I find the schedule.
Mr. Smurf really closing up that gap now on Record. Down to a 0.2 seconds behind him. Right on the edge of, now it's a half second. Boy, they're battling back and forth. The time keeps going up and keep going down, corner after corner. Nice little battle brewing here between P2 and P3. Again, PD Snow is still with an 11-second gap over those two. I think he has just got to hold this race together, and he will have himself a P1 victory, well earned.
Oh, and Mr. Smurf, he's taking a look as we're going to come into turn 1 here. Let's see if he can get the job done coming into turn 1. This is a corner that you can't hold the outside line and still maintain position, and we actually see that with Record there managing to get the better exit. So great job there
Yeah.
by Record to defend the position there coming through turn 1, but he now has an issue up in front of him here with some lap traffic as well, and it's
Yeah,
game
this
on.
is going to get interesting.
Of course, these guys battling for position up in front of him here as well, so these guys got to find their way around these drivers here tonight. Mr. Smurf is getting caught up. This is going to be devastating for his racer. He needs to get around this driver in this hairpin and get back in behind, so he does get it done. Great stuff there by Mr. Smurf. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stick with this
all racers right there.
Battle here currently. We are keeping our eye on the race leader up ahead, of course, as well. We want to make sure we catch his final lap as he comes around here. Pretty uneventful race for our race leader here, very late stages, but the battle is for second and third place here on the racetrack. Mr. Smurf absolutely giving Record the business here, and Record responding and not allowing him to cash that check just quite yet, ladies and gentlemen. So Record is running away, and he is going to try and hold down P2 here as we are nearing the end of our race. So really great stuff here from these two drivers, and Record getting it a little bit spicy there, but Mr. Smurf is right on the back end of him here now. But now again, we have a lap traffic interfering with the situation here. This is about to get interesting through the infield. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Smurf gets a great run on the inside there. Can he get the run back out of this tough corner here on Record? He needs to keep Record right there in order to have a shot here. This is going to be very interesting if these drivers opt to stay behind this lap traffic here as we're coming around the infield section, and they cannot get around. I believe it's Andres in front. Oh no, there's a big mistake. Mr. Smurf crashes, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ricard is going to hold second place.
Coming around the final corner. He will finish this race in P1.
Good call by Nolander there. We didn't miss. Congratulations to Petey for his first place finish here today, coming very close second last week, but he's going to find the top of the podium here today. And after a hard fought battle with Mr. Smurf at the end of this race, Record's going to come around from Flying Fox Racing. He's going to take a second place finish here today at Blue Moon. Congratulations to him. Mr. Smurf very close behind in third place. Perea there in fifth. Koke coming in fourth. Heathen's going to come around in fifth place here, and he made up a little bit of time there on those drivers, 4 seconds, but 25-second gap has just proved to be a little too much with only 5.5 laps remaining for this driver. So strategy error from this driver today really cost him the most, but still solid P5 finish here, and still going to keep him pretty solid in standings. And we didn't even get a chance to bring the standings up today, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll bring them up to you here right at the end of the race, and then we'll jump into some podium interviews.
Well, Mr. GT45 Gaming, that was a fantastic bit of racing from these fellas.
Absolutely.
There were some battles all over the track during the entire race, just battling. There was at least one battle going on at one point. At every point in the race, there was at least one battle going on the track, so very entertaining.
And fastest lap belonging to Koke here today with a 107.379. So Record with pole position, bonus points for him at a second place finish. PD is going to take the race win, the big 25 points here, and Koke is going to take a bonus point for his fourth place finish with that fastest lap here on track as well. Unofficial results, ladies and gentlemen, as always now the drivers will have 24 hours to submit any reports or incidents upon for further steward review, and then the stewards of course make their decisions, and then the drivers will have the standings released from there. So let's bring the standings up while we have a minute for all the races shutting down here. And as you can see on the screen in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, we have Apex's Heathen sitting in first place with, what is that, 48 points? I can't even see it. We have Perea in second with 34. We have Smurf in third with 30. We have Petey in fourth place with 25. We have Record in fifth place with 23. We have Koke, I believe that is, in sixth place with 21. We have Andres in seventh with 20 points. We have Merch in eighth with 16 points. Clarkson with 12. And rounding on our top 10 is, what is that, G-Bubs? I can't quite see that with 10 points. So that does round out, of course, our top 10 here in the standings. And I needed to have those files on my other device so I can see them better, but I'll be more prepared, of course, tomorrow night for our Elite Division, which will be broadcast at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen. And Robbie Heck not in the race this week, so a little bit of an opportunity for some of the drivers to gain some points on that driver in round 3 here, Blue Moon Infield A. But huge shout out to our top 3 guys, Mr. Smurf, Record, and of course RWB Speedy, coming into the second round of the season and showing some incredible pace here very early on in the season is that driver. So All right.
Yeah, fantastic bit of racing there at the end
So
with Mr. Smurf and record
make
too.
sure the drivers
That
all
was some
save
good
the
bit of racing.
replays. Hopefully they all save that up. Of course, the officials, the stewards, if they need a more thorough review of an incident on a racetrack, they will ask these drivers for their point of view, so their replay, and that does typically help them determine the ultimate deciding factor from time to time when that happens in stewarding. So it is important that all the drivers, of course, make sure they save their replays. So we're going to flip over to podium interviews, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to jump into the chat. We're going to grab the drivers and Mr. Nolander, of course, and have a little chat with them before we finish our stream here tonight. So we'll give us about 1 minute to set this up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with our drivers and, of course, our co-host here this evening, Nolander Gaming, who's coming in to do some co-hosting here. And then eventually we're going to probably see Nolander Gaming start doing some live broadcasting for some of our other divisions on Sunday night, so we can bring more of the live action to everybody as opposed to doing it, obviously, via replay. So, of course, huge shout out to all the drivers on track tonight. We had 2 drivers with full mechanical failure, or i.e. internet disconnection, and retired from the race early, so unfortunate for those drivers. But again, absolutely great stuff here. Tough racetrack, Blue Moon Infield A. It looks very simple, but it is a very nasty infield section to tame, and we've seen much from some of the drivers catching those tires in the grass, and there ain't a lot of runoff here on this racetrack as you're surrounded by walls, so a lot of spins and a lot of wall contact with drivers just making small mistakes. But the 3 drivers sitting on our podium here tonight, minimalizing those mistakes, and here to claim some good points for themselves tonight. So it's been a very tough battle for all these guys so far this season. Very early on, the pace is very quick, and the drivers are learning a lot about each other very, very quickly. So, huge congratulations to our third place driver, Mr. Smurf. Now, we've been saying at the beginning of the broadcast that this guy starts to find his way into podium positions. He's going to be a guy to watch out for moving into the future. So, we're going to bring his name up on the stream here first because he's earned definitely that. And third place finisher. So, congratulations, my man. And tell us about it. Walk us through it.
That was something else for me. I mean, my heart's running about 110. I haven't had that much intensity for a while when it comes to that. Being right on Kale's bumper the entire dang last 5 laps was something else. But, oh man, that was awesome.
No, explain to us what happened there. I mean, you were battling with record there all the way through, and then, of course, the lap traffic playing a little bit of a factor there for you guys in that battle. Now, did you just make a mistake and just get the rear end to go out on you a little bit there, or was there maybe a little bit of contact coming around that battle?
I got bumped and it set me off.
So. It is what it is. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, it's tough. It's tough when you have two cars battling for position in front of 2 cars on the lead car, catching up to those 2 cars. These guys navigating that situation very difficultly. But I mean, nonetheless, it didn't cost you that podium position, and here you are still P3 today. So, first podium position in league racing for you, or have you seen some in the past?
First podium, period. So yeah, first podium, period.
Yeah, would just like to say congratulations. First off, P3, well done on your first podium. Congratulations. And I just want to ask you, did you think you were going to do it there at the end? You were really doing fantastic. You came back from an earlier incident on in the race and had yourself a nice little battle at the end.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to get him on the last corner because I've noticed every time on that last corner I gain on him, and where I was just coming, I was going to hope that last corner I was just going to hit that just perfect. That would have been able to slipstream on the inside of him, because he was usually a little bit outside of that, where I take that corner at, and I was hoping I could have got it, but we don't know. But he did a fantastic job staying in front of me. Props to him, man. I mean, that was awesome. Me and him have kind of go back and forth in some of the practical lobbies here and there, but I've never seen him run that fast, so I was extremely amazed what he pulled off today.
And hey, huge congratulations, my dude. I mean, P3, first one of the season, or very early in the season yet. We still have 7 rounds of racing here. So how do you feel? I meant to ask this to, we're still in P3. So how do you feel about Barcelona next weekend with the no chicane setup? It's going to be an interesting race with that no chicane. It's going to be a very high-speed final sector. So how are you feeling going into that race with the Mercedes AMG?
I do not know. I don't think other than possibly in-game doing whatever the stock game was, I haven't put any laps in that particular venue, so I'll have my work cut out for me.
All right, well.
These guys are fast. I mean,
absolutely. Great division. I mean, you guys are putting down some incredible times. We did maybe suggest that we'd see some 106s on the racetrack today, and we were very close to seeing those 106s today. So you guys proving to be very worthy of speed on the racetrack. So just because it says AM division, ladies and gentlemen, don't shrug it off, because these boys can race and they are quite quick. So great racing here again tonight, and thank yous and shout outs, my man.
Shout outs will be to my team, Method and Pork, for helping me out with some of the lines. I mean, and you know, all of my guys, Kel, the guy just right in front of me, that son of a. But props to him for keeping some lobbies open and having me run with them a little bit. So some of the guys that'll help out, man. Just thank you so much. That was intense, and that was fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy your podium, my man, and can't wait to see what you guys got for us, of course, in round 4 at Barcelona. Much love. Appreciate it.
One more thing.
Yes, of course.
I'll get you next time, Kel.
There we go. It's on, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we love to hear. So, I mean, speaking of the man himself, we have Kelsrek or K Record sitting in P2. We got it right finally after a little bit of encouragement from the boss man from Flying Fox Racing. So we're starting to get this right finally. Great race from you tonight. I mean, you started off on pole position, so again, you know, bonus point in pockets. Always a great feeling starting on pole, but didn't get the best start there. And then Petey starting on pole, wasn't it actually? And then you got a great start.
Yes.
Sorry, you got the whole shot. You were starting in P2, fourth. Oh wow. We didn't even see the lineup at the end of qualifying because we were too busy yapping. But fourth place to first place very early on, and you were looking very solid up in first place there. And then PD just got the best of you after a little bit of an incident, of course, in that double apex corner. But that battle, I mean, the last 5 laps of the race, I mean, that was probably some of the most intense moments I think for you in this race. Was those 5 last battles? What was going through your mind in that battle with Mr. Smurf?
Just stay ahead of him. Just stay ahead of him. Just stay ahead of him.
Now, one-stop strategy, you know, top 4 drivers going with the one-stop strategy, and of course proving to be obviously the dominant strategy, the victorious strategy here today. What did you think when you seen Apex's Heathen have to make a pit stop there with about 5.5 laps remaining? Were you a little bit surprised to see that?
I was very surprised to see that. I kind of wondered what was going on. But I just kept running my race. Couldn't worry about what he was doing.
And I mean, you gave it a good solid run, but RWPD just proving to have some pace here. And I think, honestly, I think the deciding factor for you maybe having a shot at first place was the fact that Apex's Heathen had to pit in because he was reeling in RWBPD and was going to start battling with him soon. So that would have been an opportunity for you to, of course, close that gap up a little bit and maybe have that potential at the end. But that's racing, ladies and gentlemen. Different strategies, different drivers. And today, of course, Mr. Record here sitting in the silver position, pole position 2 here tonight. So good points for you. What is that? That's like 21 points, I think it is, or 20 points or something like that in the standings.
Something like that.
So pretty juicy start to the points, and of course you're trying to climb your way up that point standings board there, chasing down Apex Heathen. So finishing a couple spots ahead of that driver tonight is going to help everybody's chances at catching our current championship standings leader in the AM division, Apex's Heathen. But massive props to you, man. I mean, you looked really good out there. We only seen just a couple little mistakes. Unfortunately, one did cost you the race lead at one point there, but it was still early on in the race. So what goes through your mind when you make that mistake? You know, you got the race lead, you're feeling pretty comfortable. Clearly you had good pace and good confidence from what we've seen in practice, and then you make that little bit of mistake. I mean, what does it take to gather yourself right back up and get right back into that race mentality?
You just got to scrub it off and keep on going.
Pretty simple and pretty well said. Mr. Nolander, do you have anything you'd like to add to that, my friend?
I do. I would like to say, first and foremost, very congratulatory on your P2 podium finish. And I have to ask, what were your feelings at the beginning of the race, going into the race? Did you have hopes to finish in P1, or
honestly, guys, I raced today with a fever, so I was just hoping to finish the race.
Very good. Well done to you on your P2 victory there. That's well done, especially with the fever. So congratulations once again.
Thank you.
All right, and I mean, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Feeling a little under the weather here is Mr. Record as well. Thanksgiving weekend here for our American brothers down south here in Canada as well. So I hope everybody's having a great weekend down there. And a second place finish for this gentleman here at Infield Blue Moon Infield A today. So anybody you want to shout out or thank you?
I'd like to thank the team, Flying Fox Racing, for prepping me since day one before the Glenn Watkins race. They've been pushing me harder and harder to get better and better. And I'd like to thank our team partner, IMB Racewear, for helping us out where they can.
And you know, great support there shown by MB Racewear coming in as a new partner with Flying Fox Racing. So much love there. The guy's a legend. He makes some great stuff. I can't wait to get some of my stuff coming from these guys as well. I believe we're going to see some flat out racing gear coming from IMB as well, ladies and gentlemen, in the near future. So stay posted for that once we have that sorted. But yeah, fantastic stuff, and definitely can't wait to get some myself. But second place for you tonight again. A good run is going to put the standings up top very close here, I think, coming into round 4 at Barcelona. How do you feel about Barcelona and Oshikane?
You know what? I'm just going to start practicing and start running laps.
Absolutely.
Not familiar with the track.
All right. Well, again, fairly new addition to Gran Turismo, ladies and gentlemen. About 4 or 5 weeks ago, they brought in the Barcelona layout with the no chicane, and of course, they brought in that pretty mighty rallycross layout. That's pretty fun too, if you guys are into rallycross. But it's going to be a faster race than what we normally expect to see with that final chicane in play. So it's going to change the attitude, and of course, the way that the racers strategize for round 4 again at Barcelona. So congratulations, man! Enjoy that second place finish, and
Thank you.
just can't wait to see what you got for us next week.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the man who had the plan tonight, RWB's PD. We talked to him last week with a nice solid second place finish at Alsace Village, and coming in here tonight a little more prepared. He had a little more time, obviously, to settle in and figure out the car and get a strategy down. And end result for you is first place finish. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good about it. I definitely could have had a way better race. Man, it was another rough one. I don't like that track at all. And a couple of corners, like I followed Wreck. He was pacing so well, and I just pretty much followed his line and went from there, try to save a little bit of gas, try to save the tires a little bit.
Absolutely, and I mean, you weren't really, ever comfortable at any point in the race either when you did get the race lead back from Wreck there. Of course, you just had that little bit of an incident coming around that double left-hander there, and you just had the inside track and an easy move for you, and then from there you pretty much just settled into first place for the most part. Apex Heathen, I mean, he came in that second stint and he was like a rocket ship. He was just closing you up, and then he had the lead, and then you closed him up, and then you got the lead back from him, and then he was closing you back up, and then he pit. What were you thinking at that moment in the race?
The incident, it was just like a little bit of lag on my screen from what I saw. I tried to slow down, let him get it back, but I think he actually spun out when he pushed the accelerator. Heathen. Once again, giving me another heart attack over the weekend. Came back, he passed me. Heathen was flying. And I think in that hairpin, he might have caught the gravel or the grass on the back tire and spun because he had a nice little lead on me, and I couldn't catch him for a while.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I think ultimately he was on an alternative strategy compared to you guys in the front. You guys were on that one stop. He was on a modified two stop, I like to call that.
Definitely.
And unfortunately for Heathen, that wasn't the right call here tonight, and that just dropped him down the field a little bit. Not taking anything away from the pace of that driver, but our current championship standings leader in our AM division here, definitely under fire now from our 3 drivers finishing on the podium tonight. And PD being one of those guys, we got to watch out for this guy. He took a big points last week, and he's coming into this week with big points again. With that race win, 25 points for this driver, so that's going to put him all the way up into 50 points. Of course, that's unofficial until the stewards make their thing and make it official, but currently the way it stands right now after the race finishes, ladies and gentlemen, this driver is going to be nipping at Apex Heathen's heels already, with Apex Heathen only coming in 5th place. So, I mean, you come in as a sub, you're basically a full-time sub at this point right now in the division, so you got a really good shot at going for that prize pool. So how you feeling? I mean, how do you prepare now moving forward? You know you're in the fight, you know you're in the top half of the standings moving into round 4. What's your mindset and your preparedness now going to Barcelona?
Oh man, it's going to be practice. I haven't raced Barcelona since I think it was a daily race a while ago, and I don't like that track at all. It's another one I just don't like. Just a couple corners I might have to figure out. I'm just going to put in some practice.
Absolutely, and I mean, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it always comes down to car testing, mechanics tweaking, and doing their thing with these race cars behind the scenes, getting these things absolutely 110% ready to go for race day. The rest of it from that point comes down to the drivers. So, huge race from you, Nolander, my friend. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, definitely. Big congratulations to you on your P1 podium finish, man.
Thank you.
As Tim was saying, sitting in the standings currently in P4, that's definitely going to move you up into a top 3 on the standings. Is that where you figured you'd be sitting? Or were you confident coming into this race? What were your thoughts on that, partner?
Confidence was 50-50. I've seen a couple guys put down some fast laps. I just so happened just to push really hard on a qualifying lap and got the fastest time, and I just couldn't. I think I might have hit that time maybe one time during the race on stalls on the first couple laps after pitting, but I'm just going to try to keep up the consistency.
Yeah, I hear you there. And after you had moved into P1, you really seemed to just settle down, and that time we just kept watching it actually grow. Uh, were you still trying to put down fast lap at that point in time? Not the fastest lap, but still trying to really push it, or were you just in the groove? Because you looked like you were in quite a groove there, buddy.
I was in the groove. After the pit stop, I think I had finally got comfortable with the track in the car, and knowing. Hold on 1 second, I know when I was on the tires with more grip, I probably could push the car a little bit more. And like I said, after I pushed maybe 5 or 6 laps really hard and save a little fuel for 5 or 6 laps and then push again.
Well, the strategy worked out, partner. And again, definitely congratulations on your P1 and moving up in division standings. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, my man, and we can hear the young fella looking like he needs some daddy love in the background there. So shout outs and thank yous, my man.
Thank y'all.
All right, well, we'll let you get to the family time now, and of course, RWB's Petey, our winner here tonight in round 3, ladies and gentlemen. So huge shout out, round of applause for this driver. He looked very strong out there again this week, and good luck in Barcelona next week. Can't see what you got for us on the racetrack, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
All right. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude our broadcast here for Saturday night. The AM Division here putting on an absolutely amazing show. Again, we were joined by special guest commentator Nolander Gaming from Facebook and YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor, go show this man some love. Nolander Gaming on Facebook and, of course, YouTube. Go throw him a like, go throw him a sub because, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be our next top commentator here at Flat Out Racing North America, standing by our side here at GT45 Gaming to make sure you guys are always catching all the live action. Man, my man, we appreciate you coming in here tonight. Thank you for being here, and I'm sure we're going to see you again very soon.
Absolutely, Mr. 45 Gaming. Absolutely appreciate the opportunity to be here, and as always, definitely nice to jump on some comms with you, my man.
Well, you betcha. And we're going to send the viewers out here tonight, and we'll talk to you soon, my brother. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And congratulations once again to our top podium finishers. Fantastic race by all. And a big shout out to all sponsors. GTR Sim Racing Apex.
There we go. Absolutely. All right, my man. So appreciate you. And, of course, drivers in the chat, please feel free to continue debriefing and decompressing. You guys are all good to go. Appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go. I mean, that was our race. Now, we do apologize about a little bit of the feedback in the audio tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Streamer problems. We'll have that sorted out, of course, coming into the near future. Nolander Gaming is a personal friend of mine. We work very closely with Nolander Gaming. He has been commentating with me for some time now as well. We're just changing the way his setup operates and runs, and as soon as we've got that perfect, it's going to be just like what you guys are watching here at Flat Out Racing North America and GT45 Gaming. So definitely be on the lookout for Nolander Gaming in the near future here, doing some broadcasting, bringing this live to you guys and amazing viewers as well here at Flat Out Racing North America. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We do appreciate all the support. New viewers, welcome in. I hope you enjoyed your first sim race. If this is your first sim race, of course, broadcast here live. This happened in real time, ladies and gentlemen. So amazing job to our drivers, of course, the staff at Flat Out Racing North America. Always appreciate the efforts from them, whether it be our stewards or our general administration staff in the Discord, keeping things running smooth, or whether it be, of course, the team leaders and behind the scenes, making sure that everybody else is on the same page. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Absolutely proud to bring these broadcasts to all you amazing folks out there week in and week out. Massive shout out to the sponsors, GTR Simulators coming in, offering up a rig to the winner of each division this season. We got Apex Racing Team coming in, offering up a huge merchandising package for our winners this season as well. Graphics provided by High Pre Racing. And I mean, what else can we say but another fantastic race here by our amateur drivers this season. This Mercedes is proving to be a fantastic car for racing, and tough night for a lot of our drivers here. Blue Moon Infield A, but at the end of the day, you know, that's the way it goes in racing, ladies and gentlemen. We had a couple drivers not able to finish out their race tonight, you know, or the cars had to go behind the wall, but that's the way it goes. Mechanics will work hard. They'll get them back on track, and we'll see these guys in Barcelona in Spain next weekend. So Elite Division tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All the big boys, the cream of the crop here at Flat Out Racing North America, going to put on another great race for us here at Blue Moon Infield A. And of course, they are driving that GTR, the brand new 2018 GT3 race car that they just brought into the game about 3 weeks ago. And can't wait to see you all there. So hope you're all safe. For those that are celebrating the Thanksgiving down in the United States of America this weekend, I hope you guys have eaten plenty of turkey. I hope you've had lots of laughs and good time spent with your families. Thank you for taking the time out of your Thanksgiving weekend to be with us here tonight. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, stay winning. We'll see you all tomorrow night. We love you all. Thank you for the support so much.